Start underwater, not with a museum label, but with a wreck. Around 1900, sponge divers sheltering near the tiny island of Antikythera found statues, glass, amphory, luxury goods, the kind of cargo a Roman buyer might have wanted from the Greek world. Then came a lump of bronze so ugly it almost disappeared into the conservation room. That is the first trick of this story. The most advanced object on the ship did not look advanced. It looked dead. In 1902, the archaeologist Valerio Stais looked at the broken bronze and noticed what should not have been there: a gear wheel with teeth cut into it, embedded in the corrosion. Early reports guessed at an astrolabe, a compass, a navigational instrument, a clock-like curiosity. The truth was worse for historians because it was more precise. A gear is not a symbol. A gear is a rule that can only work if the tooth after it is where the maker intended. For decades, the mechanism lived in fragments and arguments. Albert Reham sketched a planetarium idea in 1905 and 1906. Derek de Solla Price used radiographs and called it a calendar computer. Michael Wright built working frontisplay models. Then the Antikythera Mechanism research project brought microfocus CT and texture mapping. This was not one heroic eureka. It was a relay. Each generation handed the next one a sharper constraint, and the machine slowly stopped being a legend. The modern breakthrough was not imagination, it was seeing. Microfocus X-ray computed tomography looked through the corroded bronze. Polynomial texture mapping pulled faint surface letters out of light and shadow. The evidence became embarrassingly specific: 82 fragments, about a third of the original machine, 30 surviving gears, and thousands of Greek characters. That matters because fantasy thrives in vagueness. The Antikythera Mechanism became harder to mystify as it became easier to read. So who made it? We do not know the name. That is the honest answer, but we can draw the neighborhood. The ship carried Greek luxury goods toward the Roman world. Rhodes was a center of astronomy and mechanical culture. Hipparchus worked there in the 2nd century BCE. Ancient texts say Archimedes built mechanical heavenly displays. None of that proves the Antikythera Mechanism came from one famous man. It proves something more interesting. The knowledge needed for it was not alien. It had a local address. Is it alien technology? No, and making it alien actually makes the story smaller. Aliens are a shortcut. They erase the human network that is visible in the machine. Babylonian astronomers had preserved powerful cycles. Greek astronomers translated the sky into geometry. Workshops knew how to cast, file, engrave, pin, mesh, and repair bronze. The mechanism is not a spaceship part. It is what happens when numbers, sky watching, patronage, and patient hands meet in the same room. Now follow one tooth. The crank turns. One bronze edge pushes another. Count the teeth and the motion changes by law. 38 driving 26 is not a picture of a number. It is the number doing work. The surviving teeth are not perfect modern machine teeth. They are small, triangular, handmade pieces of a rule. The miracle is not perfection. The miracle is that the errors are small enough for astronomy to survive the mesh. The moon is the part that refuses to be simple. It speeds up and slows down against the stars. A plain circle is not enough. One of the mechanism's great tricks is to let a pin ride in a slot on a turning wheel, offset from the center, so uniform rotation becomes uneven motion. Watch the point wobble. That wobble is a theory of lunar anomaly, not written as a paragraph, but forced into bronze. The back of the machine is where time becomes a spiral. 19 solar years nearly match 235 lunar months. That Metonic cycle is not just a fact to memorize. On the mechanism, it becomes a path. Month after month, the pointer advances through a calendar that reconciles two clocks the sky refuses to make equal. One clock is the sun year. One clock is the moon month. The machine makes them negotiate. Then comes the part that still feels like magic. Eclipses. Most months nothing happens. The moon is too high or too low. But after 223 lunar months, eclipse conditions return in the Saros rhythm. The mechanism lower back dial steps through that rhythm. A subsidiary exeligmos dial repairs the time of day offset across longer cycles. This is prediction as a row of constraints: month, node, season, character, hour. When the row aligns, darkness becomes calculable. The inscriptions matter because they make the machine social. This was not a secret talisman whose owner simply stared at spinning bronze. It explained itself. The back cover described what the dials showed. The front included a parapegma, a star calendar, linking letters on the zodiac scale to risings and settings in the sky. In other words, the mechanism had an interface. It turned hidden mathematics into public reading. The front is the missing face of the mystery. Recent models argue that the mechanism displayed the ancient Greek cosmos: sun, moon, lunar phase, and the 5 planets known to the Maker: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. The problem is brutal. Fit the sky into a box less than a book wide. Make the rings readable. Hide the gearing. Keep the pointers from colliding. The front is not merely decoration. It is an engineering argument about how to compress the universe. Why build it? Probably not to steer a ship. Alexander Jones argues that because it was found in cargo, it was more likely a prestige object than vessel equipment. It could serve astrology, calendars, teaching, religious timing, agricultural timing, or simply the display of learned power. Imagine turning the crank for a Roman patron. The mechanism says, Greek theory is not only in books, it can stand on a table and move. If people could make this, why do we have only one? Because survival is not a fair sample of history. Bronze was valuable and often melted down. Shipwrecks preserve accidents, not industries. Mechanisms break. Workshops die. Knowledge moves orally, by apprenticeship, by notebooks that rot, by patrons who stop paying. The Antikythera Mechanism is not proof that no tradition existed. It is proof that one piece of that tradition fell into water before the furnace could claim it. The real shock is not that the device is ahead of its time. That phrase is lazy. Nothing is ahead of its own time. The mechanism belongs to its time, to observations from Babylon, geometry from Greek astronomy, craft from bronze workshops, texts from learned culture, money from elites, and a ship route carrying Greek prestige into Roman hands. The machine feels impossible only when we isolate it, put the network back around it, and the bronze starts to make sense. So no, it is not alien technology. It is better than that. It is human technology from a world whose libraries burned, whose bronze was recycled, whose workshops mostly vanished, and whose best machines almost never reached us. One tooth survived. Around it, modern science rebuilt a cosmos: scans, inscriptions, ratios, calendars, eclipses, planets, patrons, makers. The sky did not come down into the box by magic. People put it there, one governed tooth at a time.